Today is July 15th, 2014. We just moved to Tucson. Still kind of moving in, but I thought I'd give you a tour of the place. This is our land. We have five acres of just Sonoran desert. We've always just loved coming down here to Tucson. It's just captured our heart. And we just love this desert. And I'll show you some of the stuff that's on our land. Just lots of typical Sonoran desert plants. Like, for instance, that big old saguaro cactus over there. That's that cactus with the big arms. That's what Arizona's kind of known for. That guy's probably about 30 feet tall. They start getting arms when they're about 40 years old. They live 200 or 300 years. There's another that doesn't have arms yet. This is a field that's across from our property. Our property line was right here. It goes down to the end there where you start seeing vegetation again after the clearing. This is called a staghorn cactus. It's got little arms that come out, and these will fall off and grow new cactus. Here's a Paula verde. Verde is green, Paula is a stick, so it's a green stick. And some saguaro cactuses next to it. And they call these, this isn't so much one, we've got another one. A lot of times these saguaros will grow next to a mesquite. Even the Paula verde, and the cactus will eventually win. Its roots spread out really wide. And eventually they'll take all the water from the tree that's nurturing it. It's called a nursery tree or something like that. Here's a yucca, just real pretty little star looking thing. This is, you might say, our front yard. There's the house. And this is sort of the little front yard, although it's all our front yard. We have lots of barrel cactus. Got a little outbuilding there, just for storing things, walking around the little yard here. This is a creosote plant. These are real common around here, little buds on them. And when they get wet, when the rain comes sometimes by them, you get a little bit of a creosote sort of smell. This is a type of prickly pear. It's a real pretty little thing, real delicate looking. And another prickly pear, a purple one. And then that yucca over there, and a barrel cactus. These barrel cactus are called fishhook because their little spines look like fish hooks. And sometimes you can thump them and you get a little musical note. They're kind of wet right now because we had a big rain yesterday. And then they grow from the top and they get big buds up here on the top. Here's an agave. It's saguaro. It's not old enough to have arms yet. And behind it, another Paula verde. The saguaros will get up on the top. They'll get blooms that are now gone. They bloomed earlier, and the birds love to come and fly around them. And they form a fruit that evidently is quite tasty because they're kind of a traditional Mexican food. And they'll come and break the fruit off and eat it. I don't think they do too much now. At least not out here, not ours. There's another little saguaro popping up. They look cool, but that's what the top of the saguaro looks like. And then it'll get little blooms up there. And each year get just a little taller. And they get fatter and fatter as it rains. Remember, it's been very, very dry until recently. And they were kind of skinny. Not, just a bit skinnier. This is a mesquite tree. We've got a number of mesquite trees. Mesquites are, these are the ones that they like to use for smoking. They also smoke stuff here in Arizona too, but this is for barbecue and smoking meat. Another Paula Verde. Here's a little jungle with Paula Verde, mesquite, and a whole lot of prickly pear. And look at these things, how big these things are. You know, here, this is, 5-6 feet tall, just eye level here. Tangled up in this saguaro, in this Paula Verde. Now over here, well, we'll work our way over there. Another green stick, Paula Verde tree. These over here are another type of cholla that's not like the staghorn. And fortunately, these are not on our property. These are evil. These things have sharp spines, and it's almost like you just get close to them and they'll get you. But they're really pretty. And that is a jungle in there. There's no way you could possibly get in there and survive. The chain fruit cholla. They have a little fruit that grows on chains. But they are pretty, especially if we can get the sun shining through them. Not going to be quite right today. Also, I'm not going to go over there to take a picture of them. It's another cactus. This is the west side of our property. It's our neighbors, whatever. People out here just kind of leave this stuff alone. So that's looking toward Tucson, that's looking east. The mountains over there are on the other side of town. We're on the west side of Tucson. These mountains over here, called the Tucson Mountains, are about a mile and a half from here, are a bunch of trailheads. Those are a national state park. On the other side of them is Saguaro National Park. So just around the corner is a big national park and a real famous museum called the Desert Museum that has lots and lots of desert plants. There's a fence here, but their property, the previous owners fenced this in to keep the coyotes and javelinas and wild animals out. But our property goes down to the bottom there. So this is all ours. It's just every kind of Sonoran plant you can imagine is down there. There's another staghorn. Barrel cactus and things back there. We got a pretty good rain yesterday. Oh, here's a barrel cactus. If they lean over too much and get too full, they'll fall down after a bunch of years. And this guy is dead. He's going to slowly rot away, and what'll be left will be the spines. They're a really pretty little hollow wood with lots of little holes in them. They just look kind of decorative. And here's what typical dried up cactus looks like. The wood is really kind of cool looking. Okay, some more prickly pear. This is getting toward our backyard, north side. We have a patio out here. Now this is one of the coolest desert plants we have always liked. Is this guy here. This is an ocotillo. It's a big, skinny, sticky, for sure sticky, a spiny plant, and when it rains it puts out leaves, very green leaves. The right time of the year you get these will turn real bright red in a few days, and then all that stuff will fall off and they'll spend the rest of the time just as a dry stick sticking up, just skinny sticks. Just imagine that without any leaves. And then if it rains again, the leaves will come back. It'll get leaves on them off and on all year. This is another plant that I don't know, and these little buds, little flowers came out about 2 days ago. And I like these plants. I know enough about them to get along, but I'm not a plant guy at all. Okay, this is Just some more of this real common creosote plant. Notice there's no tall trees. There's just no tall trees out here at all. We have a couple of deciduous trees that are only barely barely good trees to have here. These things are, you got to have plants that can stand no water, because most of the time there's no water, very little water, and when it rains it just dumps water. We're heading north or east here. Some more of our land here. Barrel cactus, the fish hook barrel cactus. The little hooky fish hooks on them. This is all ours here. This the guy put the fence up, but I may move the fence down just so we have a little easier access. But we've got gates so we can get out there. And this is ours up almost to the guy's house there. We've got a nice little stand of barrel cactus over here that's kind of pretty. Just all these barrel cactus here. Tons of them. Watch where I'm going so I won't run into this staghorn. Some more barrel cactus. And then this is a little stand of two different kinds of staghorn. It looks like maybe this kind here is called a deadwood, maybe, I don't know. And the prickly pear is starting to put little fruit on. It's a little fruit on the prickly pear, and after a while these will get quite big. They'll get about twice as big as they are now, and they'll just get fully loaded with them. And one year down here in Arizona, we picked a bunch of them, and Elaine made some prickly pear jam. That was tasty enough. I don't think we'll go to the trouble to make it regularly, but you know, it's kind of cool. It's got an interesting flavor. It was, not the world's greatest, but it was fun to make it. You've got to pick the fruit. Actually, you get the fruit, pick it up off the ground, because when it is ready to pick, it'll just fall on the ground. And then what you do is, of course, they got little spines on them. And so what they'll do is, we tried a lot of stuff, but we finally read what you do. You build a fire and stick them in the fire and burn the spines off. Don't keep them in there so long you're really cooking them, and then they don't have spines, then you can process them. Another barrel cactus and some more prickly pear. Okay, this is the east side of our house. Stuff's just laying around because we're still moving in. There's a little garden area that they put in with sort of raised beds. I'm not sure what we'll do with it. One nice thing is we can ignore it. We won't have to worry about weeds. These are two trees that are not, they must have planted these. These are deciduous something or others that have to be watered. They do make nice shade on this deck here, but the only time we need shade is in the morning. And in the morning you don't need shade. So, but they are pretty. We're not going to remove them or anything. This deck is ideal because it's on the east side of the house. So we get shade all the time. In the morning, the sun shines in. It's morning right now. But during the day when it gets hot and you want the shade, it's shaded. In the evening, having parties or friends over, or you want to eat outside, then the sun's over the house and the roof shades you so you don't have that hot sun beating down on you while you're doing your barbecue. And then in the winter, when you are after the sun, this side here is south facing, and so we've got a nice little open area for in the winter time if we want to go outside and want to be in the sun. Well, we'll go in the house here to tell Elaine I'm making this video. Here's the main entrance. I'm making a updated video, Elaine.
Okay.
So when you come in, on the right is the kitchen, and like I say, we're just moving in, so things are a disaster.
Oh no, this is how we always live.
Well, that too, that part's true. That's embarrassingly that's true, but I had an excuse now. We've set up a office for Elaine here, and she is actually at work as we speak. In fact, and so this is the kitchen area. Here's the living room, and there's a little partition here that divides this off into a dining room area, and a cat. And then another room over here, another big family room thing, and our plan is to eventually make this the main room. This would actually be the kitchen. So the little bitty kitchen we were just in will go away or become a craft room, and this will become the kitchen. But that's down the road. There's a fireplace in here, and the nice thing about this being a kitchen, when we get all this stuff done, it'll just feed logically out to the outside deck, either this deck on the east side or the more open deck on the west side. And no matter where you go, you get a view. Just a view of the desert, the mountains, and all that good stuff. Then there's a small little bathroom here. This is the laundry room, pantry, kind of a maze. And this is Elaine's. That's Elaine. And then down this hallway is a master bedroom, closet and so forth. I caught her, she actually made up her bed. And a bathroom and a picture of me taking the video, and a shower. And then, so that's the master bathroom, sort of the main, master bedroom, sort of the main bathroom here that's shared by these two bedrooms. Here is one bedroom on this side, which I'm going to use, at least initially, for my ham radio. And when I first got here, I had to set up my ham rig so I could get on the air. But we're just kind of still fixing this up. And then another bedroom over here with messed up beds and junk. But it's a bedroom and a small closet. Okay, so we'll go out the front door to close on a view of our front yard. So this is the view we have to deal with.